Good morning and welcome to the Smart Women in Business podcast. Today I am chatting with Kate Toon, an award-winning SEO copywriter and SEO consultant with almost 2 decades of experience in all things advertising, digital and writing. Originally from the UK, but now based just outside Sydney, Kate has worked with big brands such as eHarmony, Curash and Kmart. And she's helped countless small businesses produce great content and improve their copywriting and SEO. Kate is also the founder of the Clever Copywriting School and the Recipe for SEO Success e-course, which I have done, the co-host on the Hot Copy podcast and the host of the Recipe for SEO Success podcast. Kate recently published her popular business book, The Confessions of a Misfit Entrepreneur, which also has its own podcast. She presents the Write for Business show for the Dale Beaumont's Brin.ai app, correct me if I'm wrong on that, and is the founder of the Copywriting Conference, Australia's first dedicated copywriting conference. From my perspective, I have had a bit of a copywriter girl crush on Kate since I began my own entrepreneurial journey in 2009, as Kate was one of the few non-agency copywriters I knew in the big, wide internet world. She was a bit of shining light in my freelance existence back when I was a newbie. So I'm thrilled to welcome her to the podcast to talk about good karma marketing and being a misfit entrepreneur. Welcome, Kate.
Oh, it's
Yay!
Yay! Woohoo!
I was totally wanted to cheer then.
That's good. Good way to start. It's all downhill from here.
So, Kate, what does good karma marketing mean to you in 2018?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think that often in business we're told that it has to be cutthroat, like Wall Street, dog eat dog, defend your little patch, go after your competitors. And while that does work very well for some businesses, I've always found it really, really exhausting. So I try to kind of manage my business I sound a bit woo-woo, in a kind of loving way. So I try to give a lot in the hope that that all comes around in a karmic way, not necessarily from the people I've helped or given stuff to, but the universe kind of somehow brings it back to you. And although I am an extremely cynical and sarcastic human, I have found that that has worked very, very well for me, especially in the last 5 years.
Yeah, brilliant. So where do you think are the pitfalls where people fall down in marketing in general and go into that dark view of bad karma marketing?
I think a lot of it comes with confidence and experience. So the longer you've been in the game, the more you see that, yes, competitors do come up and sometimes they fade away, or that they stay where they are, and that there's just more than enough work to go around.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to build that confidence that you are enough and that your brand is enough and that people are going to like you and they're not going to like other people, or they're not going to like you and they're going to like other people, and that's fine. It's very hard not to compare yourself to everyone else and think, I should be doing what they're doing, they're more attractive, they've got more followers, la la la. Jane's looking particularly attractive today, by the way.
It's all the lippy.
She looks amazing, and I'm sitting here with scruffy hair thinking, "Lummin' heck!" But,
I've got a whole day of this ahead. So.
We can't all be glamorous, you see, and we all got different skills, and it's really about learning what your skills are and embracing them, and also learning what your faults are and embracing those, because I'm finding that my faults and my quirks are way more marketable than my actual skills these days. People seem to enjoy my failures more than my success.
But it's also oftentimes our failures and our quirks and our authenticity is what makes us relatable and memorable, and that's why people want to work with us.
Yes, and marketing is as much about repelling as it is about attracting. We really want to send the clients that aren't right from us as far away from us as possible, because they won't be right. They'll never be satisfied. They'll be the clients that leave a bad taste in your mouth. Whereas the ones that already have warmed to you, they're raring to go. They already feel a connection to you. They trust you. So stick with them. And yes, there may be fewer of them, but I'm a big believer that at the beginning, especially, you love those few customers hard. They will then spread the word and become advocates for your business.
And I'm still actually working with some of the ones I worked with 9 years ago. So
there you go.
When they know you, it's easier. It does.
Whether you want to have a long-term relationship or a one-night stand with your client. I'm more of a one-night stand girl. but or repeated one night stands. That makes me sound terrible?
That's friends with benefits, isn't it?
Yeah, friends with, that's what I like. Oh my God, you've just defined my marketing strategy.
So that's your business model.
You've just made, that's it. I'm going to meme that immediately after this podcast. Amazing.
So your business, I know because I've been stalking you on cyberspace for many a year, but your business has evolved over the last few years. So tell us about how it's evolved and how you knew when it was time to shift, because this is what a lot of people get trapped in. I'm not ready to grow. I don't know how to grow, but it's time to grow.
Well, I think I was doing well as a freelance copywriter. I'd hit certain financial targets. I had good clients. And I guess, to be honest, I just got a little bit bored. And I think that can be a good sign. I'm a believer that you need to push on through that boredom and keep on working. But if you're repeatedly kind of turning up at your supposed dream job and going, meh, then something needs to shift. And I also realized, not that I have huge financial ambitions, but that there was only so much money I was going to make if I was exchanging my time for money. So it was twofold, really. I thought it'd be quite fun to do a workshop, an SEO workshop. So I did that, but then I realized that people left that workshop feeling ill because there was just too much to take in, because SEO is a huge topic.
It is?
So really, it is.
It's
so
huge.
I wanted to find a solution to that problem. I'm always about finding solutions to problems rather than having grand plans. So I'd like to teach more people SEO, but that method's not working. How could I solve that problem? I could make a course. Okay, this course is not big enough. People want to learn more. I'll make a bigger course. Oh, this course is too expensive. Okay, I'll make a cheaper course. And things have just grown like that. There hasn't really been a master plan. And I don't think there was maybe one moment where I pivoted. It's such a cheap phrase. I went to present on SEO at ProBlogger. I managed to get a little 10-minute spot just randomly. And it was probably one of my first biggest, because I used to present a lot when I was an agency creative, but presenting in front of a room of 500 people is a very different thing. And I liked it and I enjoyed it. And people came up to me afterwards and said, oh my God, I've never really understood it before. And you made me understand it. And I was like, I could do this. This could be it. So that's when I really kind of pivoted away from copywriting into SEO. I still do both. I have one line of business, which is copywriting, one is SEO, but I think I'm more known for the SEO now, which sometimes irks me. But I'm a victim of my own rebranding success, I guess. But there was never really a light bulb moment. It was a series of dim lights being switched on and off.
Let's try this. Does it work?
Exactly.
Try this. But that's how we roll,
It is. And if you're sitting there waiting for an epiphany, you'll be waiting for a long time, so.
Or for someone to come along and tell you what to do.
Oh God, if only someone would tell me what to do.
I wish someone would come and tell me what to do.
I'll tell you and you tell me after the show, okay? I just really want someone to grab me by the shoulders, shake me back and forth and say, do this, Kate Toon.
This is your business plan.
Yeah, or just more, I want to say, stop doing this and just do this. But yeah, I think you kind of just have to work it out as you go.
It's the self-motivation thing.
It's very difficult.
It is. It's hard. It's a hard slog. So how do you manage your glamorous life as a misfit entrepreneur, Kate?
Oh, I'm so glamorous. I have a pretty easy life. I work from home. I've got a really lovely office that I built in my back garden that I called the Toon Cave, which is a beautiful space. It still makes me happy every day to come into here. It was a big investment that I thought I'd be able to claim back from the tax man. I couldn't. So that was
what?
I know, depreciation of, don't even go. So I have a lovely workspace. I spend a lot of time, interacting with people online. I've got groups. I do a lot of coaching and lives and lovely podcasts like this. So I feel like I have a very rich digital life. Like I maybe talk to 30, 50, 60, 100 people a day, which I love. And then every once in a while, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, I go and speak at an event, which I enjoy a lot, not least because I go and stay in a very nice swanky hotel and have spa treatments and stuff. And that's a luxury. I mean, that's only really something I've been able to afford to do this year, because speaking at events, yes, you sometimes get paid, sometimes you don't, but I'm not sort of, Tony Robbins. Is it Tim Robbins? No,
yeah, it's Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins
is the Shawshank Redemption. I'm sure he would get paid a lot to speak.
Yeah, probably. Possibly even more than Tony Robbins.
Possibly, but he wouldn't have the jaw. So, it's a luxury. It's a lot of time out of the office. There's an expense in terms of your woman hours, preparing prezos. So it's definitely a luxury, but I've enjoyed it. I enjoy it very much. So that's kind of my business treat.
Go and sit in a
holiday.
hotel room, not have to feed anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to be able to wear like a nice clean outfit in the evening and go out and have
and like wash your hair,
just
hair. Spray it.
Yeah, like shave all those body parts that haven't been shaved for months. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fun. I unfortunately live about 350 km from Melbourne, so I don't ever get to do that.
Oh,
I live in the middle of nowhere, but my view is excellent.
Well, you should come to CopyCon next year.
I know. My kids are a little bit little to leave. But
one day.
It's not one day from here. But anyway, I'm sure I can take 2 days out.
Yeah, I think she can. Everyone should comment on this podcast and tell her that she should come.
Yeah,
you deserve a few days away.
Because I'm worth it.
You're worth it.
Speaking of copywriting, so what does your perfect day in the office look like?
Oh God,
I love talking about people's day-to-day stuff. What is the stuff?
My perfect day in the office would not to be in the office at the moment. I'm on a bit of a period. No, I guess my perfect day is, managing. My husband and I switch and swap, so I do a day, he does a day. So my perfect day I would get up and walk the dog and have my coffee and listen to my podcasts.
The dog's important, people.
Dog is super important. And then just come back and maybe get an hour of solid work done before I check email or social, fanny about on social media, brief my wonderful team of 2, get them cracking. Maybe, a good day for me is when I get a lot of solid work done. I do a lot of days where I spend a lot of time just making Facebook Lives and doing and it's great because it's all awareness and branding, but it doesn't feel like you've done anything solid, like you've made a course or you've written a thing or so I like days where I get some real solid stuff done. And then, wrap up at about 3ish, pick my son up, come home, and then dinner, and then probably a little bit of faffing about on social media again later when you're making tea or something. And that's it, really. It doesn't sound that exciting, does it?
It's not faffing about though, is it? Because
it's building my
brand awareness.
It is. I mean, if you see the sort of things I post, it kind of is faffing around, but it seems to be building my brand anyway. So.
Yeah, well, it's authenticity.
It's the watchword of the time.
Hashtag blessed. You are one of the most incredibly prolific bloggers I know of who actually read their stuff. So how do you manage your time when you are having one of those super productive days? I know you've mentioned Pomodoro and that sort of method. So do you want to just talk about that for a little while?
when I'm really on fire, and this is maybe 1 or 2 days a week, I can't sustain it for any more than that. I will use the Pomodoro method, which is where you work for 25-minute spurts, have a 5-minute break, and then do another 25 minutes. And I write my to-do list in 25-minute chunks. So I'll do this, and this in the first chunk, then this, and this in the second. I'm not that prolific a blogger because I probably only write maybe 1 blog a month, but I repurpose and reuse the cycle a lot. What I do though is write a lot of posts. So I write a lot of posts on Facebook, and then I reuse them on Instagram and LinkedIn, and then I chop them up, reorder them, put them in a different group, blah, blah, blah. And those, the only reason I can produce them quickly and prolifically is because I don't edit and I don't second guess myself. And yes, they go up with typos and people point the typos out. And looking at you,
I'm in so much trouble.
You're so much trouble. No, and it's fine. And some days I'm like, oh, shut up with your typo spotting. And other days I'm like, that's hilarious, I'm going to leave that. Somebody the other day called me the Oprah Winfrey of copywriting. So I made a meme out of it to show off because I was so excited. And I spelt copywriting wrong. I thought it was hilarious. So I just left it. It depends on your mood though, doesn't it? Some days things really great and some days they don't. But yeah, I don't overthink anything. I don't have a plan. So I'm not going, it's Tuesday the 7th. This is the day I post a tip about cheese. I'm just like, I just spilled coffee on my leg. I'm going to post about that. I just saw a really interesting article about this that's erudite and intelligent. I'll post about that.
Because I like to seem erudite and intelligent.
Yeah. But, it's not like, it's not strategic at all, because I think then it would become a chore and I wouldn't want to do it. So
I try to be strategic, and I try to, because I'm in so many Facebook groups and I'm trying to keep up with all of those. But the only way I can do that is to
have a plan.
But sometimes that plan goes out the window. Like the last couple of weeks, I'm like, So
I know,
tired.
and we don't give ourselves a break, and we're like, oh my God, but people don't care. People aren't sitting there going, why hasn't Jane McKay posted this week? They're just happy when they do see your post. And I think that's such a good point with the groups, which is one of the reasons, and I know you have a fabulous group as well, why I created my own, because I was sick of trying to keep track of, it's promo Wednesday. In it, it's whatever day. I just couldn't be bothered, and every time I turned up in the group it was the wrong day and I had nothing to offer. So now I just try to have my own groups, really focus on those, occasionally bob into other groups, but not as much as I used to, because there's so many groups.
There are so many groups. Some of them are fab. Your group is fab, but you're only allowed in people if you actually buy the book.
Oh, it's not true, but you can come in.
Misfit entrepreneurs, it's hilarious.
Slowly wear you down with guilt and passive aggression until you buy the book.
And so will the rest of us. We'll just guilt you into it.
Right. It's like a cult.
It is quite cult-like, but it's fun. It's a fun cult. We're not drinking the Kool-Aid. No. So what I've always found interesting about freelancing and the perception of freelancing is people presume that we don't have all these stresses of the conventional workforce, but we still have the deadlines and the cranky clients, and we still make mistakes that we've been talking about. And one of the ways I found that this comes out in us entrepreneurs is the imposter syndrome, which I read a stat yesterday that it affects 70% of people in business. I don't know what the other 30% are thinking. I don't know who they are, but I know everyone I speak to has. So how do you respond to the down days of being in business when I know you want to lie on the couch and watch Netflix and eat Frazzles, and I want to lie on the couch and watch Netflix and eat Twiglets? So...
Well, it's funny that you say that. I mean, I think that 70-30, I think it's just a different 70% each time. Everyone feels it. It just moves around a bit. So it's different days. So, I mean, I'm actually, to be honest, having a bit of a day like that today. Part of me is around just getting on with it. So I've set myself low level tasks to do. I've submitted to some speaker submissions for different events, and there's no emotion attached to that. If I get it, great. If I don't care. I love doing podcasts like this. I love meeting people and having chats like this. Will give me some energy, seeing your lovely face and having a chat, and it's a connection, and you get that kind of solidarity. And a big part of me is not looking. Another one entrepreneur in kind of our circle, is there a circle, maybe it's an oval or an octagon, just launched something, and she's done fabulously well, and she's very different to me, and her offering's different or whatever. There's still a little bit of me that goes, wow, that's amazing. I would love to achieve those kind of results. But then I also go, would I couldn't be bothered. There's too many people. I'd have to and so I am often
so much humaning.
I think you just you really have to examine those feelings. What are you actually jealous of? Why do you feel inferior to the other person? Do you like yourself? Are you happy with where you're at? Yeah, you may not be as rich as that person or have a snazzier Instagram account or a really great, but really in 5 years' time, will anyone give a crap? No, I don't know. So I don't know if I have any amazing tips. Stop looking, get off the internet, go hug a dog.
Go hug a dog. I've got a horse. It's not my horse, but I go and hug that.
Go and hug a horse if you can find a horse. If there's no horses available, hug a dog.
Or a hedgehog.
Yeah, maybe not. That'd be spiky.
So we do, I've noticed that a lot of us freelance types do have a tendency to avoid social situations. I may appear to be an extrovert on the outside, but I'm actually an introvert. So you're talking about being in groups and maintaining that sense of community and going and doing workshops. So do you go out and see people in human form very often, or do you like to just stay in your Toon cave?
Human form. I get people in animal form. No, look, I'm an ambivert. I get a lot of energy from hanging out with people, but I get a lot of energy from being on my own.
I haven't heard ambivert before.
Yeah, I think I have not made it up. Someone told me that that's what I was. So I can human really, really well for a short period of time, and then it's almost like a lead door comes down. I'm done. There is no gradual, okay, see you later. It's like, no, I'm done. Everyone leave, go away now. And so I pace myself. So, for example, I'm heading off to Brisbane and Melbourne because I'm an idiot and thought my conference was in Brisbane. And so organised a workshop in Brisbane the day before, but the conference isn't in Brisbane. And so I've got I've got an event on the Wednesday, I've got a workshop on the Thursday and a lunch, I've got a meal on the Friday, I'm presenting on the Saturday, I've got an event on the Sunday, I've got a conference on the Monday, and then I come home.
And lie on the couch for 4 days.
Yeah, but you see, in between those sessions, people are emailing me going, oh, maybe you're available to meet for coffee, or could we have lunch? It's just like, nah. I will go to that thing. I will be live for 2 hours. Then I come back, put my baggy pajama bottoms on and eat crisps, and pick my nose, because I need that downtime, So I've learned to pace myself, not to over deliver. And also I've really learned, this is an interesting thing that I've picked up recently, is when I'm excited, I'm kind of like one of those things outside a car sales place, with the arms,
the wobbly men.
Yeah, the wobbly men. I'm kind of super excited and really energetic. And hello, you meet Sue. This is Sue. She likes cheese. You like cheese. Be friends. Really, really go for it. And I'm learning now to just keep those levels a bit lower, so I don't burn out so quickly. So don't have to be the life and soul of the party. Don't have to be witty and funny, all the time. Because people turn up and they feel like they know you, especially now people have read my book or they're in my groups. They're like, turn up and they start a conversation with me. We just did it, actually. We have never physically met, but we started talking as if we've talked 1,000 times because we feel like we know each other from social media. Yeah. And in person, it's even more intense because people go, Kate, how's Pomplamoose? And I'm like, oh, do I know you?
Have we met?
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy and I love it, but I've learned that I don't have to be a performing seal at every event where I go to. Seal, is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah.
Those seals that kind of, she's doing really good seal arms, people. Ball, seal arm. Do that again.
Oh,
don't you?
I'm willing to humiliate myself in the public.
Am I. Totally. Way too willing. So, yeah. So just trying to keep it down a level and, just not let but I do enjoy meeting people. I couldn't do it all the time. I'm so glad I don't work in an office and have to have inane conversations. Remember in offices when you'd go to the toilet and you'd pass someone on the way to the toilet and you'd kind of go like, hey, and then you'd pass them 2 more times. And by the third time, you're like, just don't even look at me. I don't want to go, hey, again. Do you know what I mean?
I think about the amount of time I used to waste being in the office.
I know.
You go make a cup of tea and 15 minutes later, you're like, oh, I've got deadlines.
I know. And I am so much more focused now that I work at home. Even though I faff about, I mean, I must have maybe got 3 good hours of work done when I had a real job. By the time you've heated up your dinner in the communal microwave and chatted with Barbara at reception, the day's gone.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now
I'm like,
don't miss it. Don't go back. I mean, I think we're probably unemployable now, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think I have the skills to participate in the general workforce anymore.
I don't have the dress sense. I think that's my issue.
No, I've got rid of all of my clothes. That was my big I'm never getting a job again thing, was I'm getting rid of all my corporate gear. I'm still on a board, so I have to look nice once a month.
Yeah.
A couple of times a month. So I have to have those clothes, but the rest of the time I'm like, trackies.
That's when you know that you're done, when you burn your business attire. Did you have a barbecue? You could have had a barbecue. You're out in the country.
We actually have a place down the road where they take corporate wear and give it to in an op shop, like a specific business wear op shop.
What a good idea.
Yeah, it's really great in Painesville. So
cool.
Good on them. That's a good initiative. So now we talk about money not being the motivator.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we talk about when we work at home, we have all our what's our purpose? So what's your purpose and what keeps you motivated to keep on keeping on, apart from the fact you never want to go back to corporate?
What keeps me keeping on? It's a question I ask myself a lot, because I've spent the last 10 years working towards where I am now, and now I'm here. And a friend of mine, Kelly Exeter, refers to it as summit syndrome. When you get to the top of a summit, and it's, do you decide to then scale another summit, or do you just sit on the top of that summit and look down? And I'm not entirely sure. My entire last year, I made up a figure that I wanted to earn randomly, not based on any requirement or anything, or any
plan. There's no plan.
And not based on any kind of, oh, you've earned this before, so this is an 8% increase. It was just random figure pulled from my bottom.
That'd
and
be great.
I really focused on that, and I hit it, and it was utterly unsatisfying and very exhausting. So now I'm in a bit of a weird limbo place. I'm still doing the things that I do. So I launch my big course 3 times a year, and I sell a lot of small things every week, just little bits and bobs. And I've got memberships and books and things like that. But I don't have a plan at the moment. I don't know what's going next.
You're just there sitting on top of your mountain.
I'm sitting on my mountain, and hopefully, like a really attractive goat will come along and lead me down to another adventure. I'm waiting for my goat, I think, because what I've found is that when you're just sort of sitting there and you're open to it and you're not so busy in your business, opportunities do come up to do new things. But also I'm happy to have a little bit of a fallow period. Do you know what I mean?
Breather.
Yeah, just a period where I don't sow any crops this year and just let the soil renew its nutrients. There you go, a bit of agricultural reference.
You need to plant a bit of, what is it? Nitrogen fixing.
I need to put some cow poo on my field. That's what I need to do.
What was that?
What, this?
I thought it was something out of Dr. Seuss.
This is my little, someone sent me this random pen with a fluffy ball on the end, and it's very comforting.
Oh,
so
okay.
I just remembered that this is video.
Well, I hope it's video correctly, but if it's not, it might not be.
Let's just edit that bit out, okay? I'm joking. It's fine.
Unedited. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. So, as we are coming to the end of our time together, which has been thoroughly enjoyable, my friend, what are your tips, number one, say, for all the beautiful smart women in business across Australia and the world to go, just do this thing? If you want a business, just do this thing.
I think literally my tip would be just do this thing, because I think so many people second guess, ask for other people's opinions, ask for other people's permission, doubt themselves, worry about stupid things that haven't happened yet, scenario-wise. Well, if I do this, this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen. Just do it and deal with the consequences, because every poo thing that's happened in my business has led somewhere else. And there's even the most human, like you launch something and no one buys it, and you feel like ashamed and mortified, and you made such a hullabaloo about it on social media, and then one person buys it and you have to give them your money back. No one cares. No one has noticed. If anyone has noticed, they're not thinking stupid cow. They're thinking, oh, what a shame, but I look forward to your next one because I wasn't ready this time. So I think it really is a case of just bum on seat, do the work, stop focusing on the end result, and just do the work, because the end result will happen regardless. So that would be is that a tip? I don't know.
That's a tip. Do the work. Just do the work.
Shut up and get on with it.
That's you. I had a really down day on Monday, and I was like, Kate said, just sit on your chair and do some work and get it done. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to do, even if you don't get a whole lot done.
Yeah, that's how I am today. That's how I'm going to be reconciling zero. It's not, but it's work. I'm getting it done. I might tidy up my desktop on my computer. I might reorganize my pens. It will help me on the day when I'm super busy, and I'm grateful that my desktop's tidy and I've got nice pens. But I'm still in my office doing things. Of course, you also need to give yourself a break and have days off and stuff when you're really down. But there is a lot to be said for just turning up consistently every day and being ready, because that's when good things happen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kate. It has been my absolute pleasure to have you.
I've enjoyed it excruciatingly much. It's been fab, and hopefully we can drag you out of your wilderness to Melbourne and see you in the flesh.
It's in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Not in Brisbane, Vegas.
No.
Oh.
Anyway, it's lovely seeing you, and thank you so much for having me on the pod.
You are so welcome. Thank you. And I'll put all of Kate's links and things to all her bits and bobs on the show notes. So thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.